and gentlemen, welcome into Let's Talk About It, episode 5. I am really excited because our guest of honor is Necrospawn Gaming. I've known this individual pretty much, I want to say, since I kind of almost started streaming. Definitely during the brand change as far as that. He's a phenomenal UK man. He's the owner of a game shop. He's currently the TWS World Heavyweight Champion there. And he's a very kind soul, and I can't say nothing bad about this individual. So I hope y'all enjoy it. You guys have put in a lot of questions to really ask him and pick his brain. So I'm super excited. So without further ado, let's bring on the guest of honor. Here we go, Necrospawn Gaming. Hey, good morning, Necro, or afternoon there for you. How are you doing today?
Hello, dude. I'm not bad at all. It's a bit wet and windy outside, but it's pretty good. It's okay.
Awesome. Yo, Necro, I'm really glad that you came on the show today. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself?
I am Necro, Necrospawn Gaming, or better known as Marty. I am 36, UK streamer. I try to do variety streaming where I can, but I just kind of play what I want, really. Just kind of play what I want, do what I want with it. People like it, then I hope they stay in and I hope they have a chat. That's the main thing I like doing with people. I like chatting. I like playing a couple of games with people. I love the community spirit, so that's me in a nutshell. I like music. I like heavy metal music, as you can tell. I'm a big metalhead.
That's awesome. So just to kind of try to get a little bit about you, can you talk about your upbringing as far as what kind of got you into the gaming? What was the first system you got a hold of? Something that basically when you walk by it, you're like, oh man, this is it for me.
It's probably from the start. It's probably a little bit boring, but it's one of those kind of common things. So like, my first console that I can remember, that I can really remember far back, and I mean like the first thing I ever had was it was the old, well, what I thought at the time was just the old crappy PC thing. Later found out there was an Atari, like one of the first Atari PCs where you had to put floppy disks in for games. So it was most of these like what they call like the one-off Big. Do you remember Big, like the film with
Big,
Tom Hanks?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Remember that game on there, right? I can never remember what it's called, but it was those type of games that were on the Atari, and I used to love that back then. So that's the first thing I can ever remember playing, and then later in life I started doing Sega Mega Drive, so Sonic the Hedgehog and Golden Axe and stuff like that. Like that was my first kind of iteration of gaming. From there, I kind of obviously went up in consoles. The first real console that I really loved was the PlayStation 1. Who doesn't like the PlayStation 1? Like, PlayStation 1 had some of the best titles on it, like from the original Tomb Raider series. You know what I'm going to say because it's right behind you as well at some point, and I've just showed you something from it as well. But Metal Gear is one of my favorite all-out like franchises ever, and that's one of the first games that really, I think that's where it really started there. When I started getting into gaming around there, when Metal Gear came out, and I was like, this is phenomenal. I've never played anything like this before. And then kind of went from there and started playing stuff like Fear Effect and like some of these games people have probably never heard of, like Wild 9, if you can ever remember that, was a fantastic game.
No, yeah,
I have no idea what that game is. Honestly, if you go back and look at some of these are fantastic games. Fantastic. I might just need to sit a little bit closer, to be honest, if people can't hear us as well.
I can turn you up a little bit too. I got you turned up here. So as far as that, Metal Gear obviously is to me a game after my own heart. I love it. I've been dying for a remake. As far as what I mean, that would be my dream as far as that. So what was a little Necra there growing up? Let's say, what's a 14-year-old little Necro do as far as to pass his time when it comes to gaming? Are you one of the crazy ones that would stay up all night drinking Mountain Dew and playing, or
Yeah, that's exactly it. It would have been like a Red Bull and like microwave pizzas and sitting up like most of the night just eating crap, like and sitting there for hours upon hours, like playing games and looking into like every little nook and cranny on games just to like find certain things. Like the amount of times I played through Metal Gear on different modes, I'd finish the game and then it would be like, oh well, you've unlocked the tuxedo. So it's like, well, I didn't have the tuxedo before, so now I'm gonna have to play through the game with the tuxedo, right? Or like the unlimited bandana, like going through it, it's like, oh well, what would the game be like with infinite ammo? So you'd literally start playing the game all over again. That's what I used to love about kind of stuff like that, because like nowadays, obviously being an adult, you don't really get that much time to do that anymore. Or I mean, I could, but it's not that responsible to kind of
Yeah.
do.
You,
But like, yeah, it's one of those where it's like I would still love to do that and just kind of sit up all night and just kind of put in like 6, 7, 8 different hours into like one game. But like it's just not a thing anymore. Gone
that's
are the
that's
days where you can do that.
that's that's funny because you touch on that as far as going back through and being able to kind of get every little thing, which makes me feel again you are somewhat like to be a completionist, if I know,
Yeah.
with as far as much as we've talked and everything like that. I know you do trophy hunt at all, as far as getting some trophies. I mean, something about the drive of getting trophies, it just makes you feel good. So with that being said, what is the most difficult trophy you have ever got, like, as far as that?
The more I don't know whether it was difficult. It was difficult in parts, but I felt like the most rewarding one I got so far is playing on Bloodborne, and that and the DLC. Like playing through both of them and getting the DLC on that was absolutely fantastic. Like yeah, like if you've ever played any Soulsborne types games, you'll know exactly how difficult they are in certain places. Even not just with like the gameplay, but collecting stuff on them or doing certain little aspects of the game, it's super difficult to do to actually get the platinum. So when you can do something like that, it's so rewarding, especially with those type of games. So if you can do it on Dark Souls, if you can do it on Demon Souls, if you can do it on Bloodborne, then yeah, I think those are the most rewarding games if you can put up with like getting absolutely owned every 5 minutes on it. I'd love to do Elden Ring next if I could, but again, there's just certain things where I'm just like, yeah, I'll go on and I'll just get my ass kicked like straight away. I'll get my ass handed to me. I'm like, okay, right. Why do I still like this game, but I still play it?
Yeah, it's I think it's basically the challenge, right? You love going through the challenge, and with that, speaking of challenging in the gaming industry, again, I know you work in a gaming shop. Do you want to talk about on some experiences on how much you deal with gaming on a daily basis? I mean, from the shop to obviously streaming and gaming on the side. Do you ever have that feeling of sometimes when, like, they say that, like, when you work at a fast food place, like such as Taco Bell or Burger King or wherever, like, you don't want to eat the food? Do you ever have that like, like, oh, I deal with this all day, I want to go home, I don't want to look at a video game? Do you ever have that at all, like the burnt out feeling?
I would definitely say that. Yeah, I mean, if people say that they don't, I'd say like you've got to be lying somewhere because like you're going to get overwhelmed by stuff like you said. If you work in a fast food place, then you go home and like all you're eating is fast food, and that it's just like it's gonna get like everything in moderation. I say, do you know what I mean? That's the best way to go about things. Like like you said there, because I'm working in the store all day, sometimes I don't want to get in and kind of be like, right, well, I'm playing on games or I'm doing this with like phones, like tech stuff. Like sometimes when I'm having issues on here, like I'm trying to stream myself because I've been in work all day and dealing with tech stuff in there or tech problems in there, I kind of get into my patience is at like an all-time low with tech. Or like you said with games, like I could be sitting there because I play D&D with friends and that outside of stuff. I play games with friends outside of stuff, but sometimes I get in and I'm just like, I really don't want to talk about games, like, or I don't like, you know what I mean? I just want to chill out and just maybe play some games. Sometimes I get in and I'm just like, I really don't want to even look at my console. I just want to maybe watch some crap on the telly that I don't even watch.
That's
Which
yeah, that's
background
definitely
noise.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting there as far as of that. Yeah, I know that in pers of basically, my field, I do this all the time in terms of gaming, streaming. It was almost at the point to where I didn't want to actually even play any games because I stream them so much, but I found myself lately playing a little bit more off stream more than normal, which is, it's definitely relaxing. But yeah, I couldn't imagine working in the game shop, because every time I was a kid, or growing up, I was like, man, it'd be cool, I just work in a game shop. And then you know basically, I get to talk about video games all day, I gotta deal with video games, so that's why I just feel like that there may be a burnt out feeling when it comes to working
Yeah,
in that shop. But again, through the years of growing up, as we get older, and you kind of basically living the experience for the game shop for years. I'm not sure exactly in total, but I know the whole time that I've known you, you've been in a game shop. Tell me about the change in gaming since you've seen just working in the game shop from, when you first started till where we're at now.
yeah. I mean, when I first started, this is going like way, way back now. I mean, I would say I've been in this type of job for 15, 16 years now. It's like overall, like not in the current job, like I've been here 8 years, but before that I was in like a similar type of role, like in the same type of job. And honestly, that would have been starting then like I'd say the early days of 360 and stuff like that. So going from 360 and like we were saying there, when you used to play with friends and stuff like that, like when the 360 was around, there used to be a lot of us on Call of Duty, like every night, all of us, all of the time, and stuff like that. So like I think on a community basis, or as far as like friends go with the gaming stuff, I can see that it's kind of going more of like single player stuff now. If you know what I mean, like there's not as
Mm-hmm.
much of a call for people hanging out anymore, if you know what I mean. Like that was very much a part of my thing when I was like a little bit younger, especially like with the 360. Like I said, when Call of Duty was out, would all buddy up on a Friday night or a Saturday night after work and stuff. It'd always be the same team. We'd go in and we just like we were at that point where we were kind of getting, should we take this professional and should we take this team into like esports and stuff like that, because we were getting that good at stuff. But then that's kind of fell off over the years. Like I'm still friends with all of the same type of people, but now it's like I said before, adulting is kind of slowly kind of pushed us apart from the gaming thing. So I'd say
Mm-hmm.
community wise on stuff like that, like or friend wise, it's kind of much more getting into single player type of stuff. I think more people are playing games by themselves now. As far as like games are getting though, I think things are getting pricey. I think way way too pricey with stuff. I mean, there is good content coming out. The consoles are getting way better. Like they really are. I mean, with the PlayStation 5 and the series and stuff like that, they're getting to the point now where they're being like super PC type competitors, if you know what I mean. Like they are
Sure.
putting up a good fight against PC now. Whereas like it always used to be the whole PC master race. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you don't play PC, then you're not really gaming. Like that type of thing. But I think
Yeah.
like the consoles are getting to that point now where the technology that is in them is getting insane. Like, and they can pump out stuff. Like with the new consoles coming out, when the new Spider-Man came out, everybody was so buzzed about stuff like ray tracing and stuff like that being in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
to anybody that's just a standard gamer and just enjoys the game, you'll probably have no idea what I'm talking about with ray tracing. But like people that are a little bit more into it, like I totally get where they're coming from with stuff. But that's the main focus I can see that's going into stuff. But they're trying to make stuff way way better for people because yeah, like why not?
Yeah.
Spider Man does have some amazing reviews as well. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you get like, because there's so many games that have released. I want to say at least, I want to say within the last 2 years, we have gotten a trend of games releasing but definitely not being finished yet. Like Battlefield was one of them, right? Battlefield released, definitely could tell it was very unpolished. When you get in a situation like that, especially for your game shop, do you get a lot of like a riffraff as far as people just want to bring the game in and like, oh, it's just not done, return it, whatever? Like, do you have any like a lot of that situation going on?
It's surprising how much you would get it, because obviously most normal people would understand that it's not the retailers that are actually the problem here. It's like it's not us that haven't finished the game. It's like we just sell the game. But like
Hmm.
no, but people do come in and they are going on about like, oh wait, I bought this game, it's crashing, it's doing this, it's doing that, and do you know what I mean? Cyberpunk's a massive one in that. Like they promise so much with it. And after what they did with The Witcher and stuff like that, everybody was expecting so much from it. And I think they did promise on too much. But this is the thing with stuff, and this is why I don't get hyped for games anymore either. Like, I do still get hyped for them in a certain sense, but not nearly as much as I used to. It's because it's like, I understand what it takes to make a game and like how long it's going to take and exactly what they need to do to try and make it good. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of game companies now are very much pushed into a corner on people expecting way too much out of them, and like they are wanting it out quicker. It's like, look how many people are trying to get GTA 6 out. The amount of people we actually get coming in the shop asking if GTA 6 is out already is
Hmm.
phenomenal. Like, it's like, oh, have you got GTA 6? It's like, it hasn't even been announced yet. It's like, it's been announced to the point of where they said, yeah, we are working on it. Like, it's in the background, but this says like there's no release date just yet. It's literally one of those where it's sitting in the background. They're doing stuff on it, but I think Rockstar's going to be one of those where they're not going to be backed into a corner. They're not going to go, well, we'll release it just to appease people. They're going to. I hope. I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but I hope they are going to like not pander to people, and they are going to take their time with it and go, right. Yeah, people do want it, but we're just going to have to hang fire and make sure it's released, or you're just going to have another Cyberpunk debacle.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
I won't,
Let's
I won't knock Cyberpunk, by the way. I mean, I have played it since it has come out, and Cyberpunk is actually a fantastic game now. And the DLC that's just dropped for it and stuff like that, any of the DLC that's dropped for it has been absolutely amazing. But I think, yeah, a lot of people got a bit salty about it and didn't want to play it because of how it was released and it's in the state that it was.
Sure, sure, definitely. Let's move into how we kind of got connected. So let's talk about, obviously, I know we connected through Miragasm way back when. Phenomenal guy, fantastic guy. And we've had a pretty, I feel like me and you, we've had a pretty good relationship ever since then. We've talked on the side, especially, even personal, non-personal, or, and stuff like that. Basically, I want to kind of like get your thoughts on what your experience has been with being within the Taco Society. If you can touch base on how comfortable you felt, or just, in general, what are your thoughts since you originally have been a part of the Discord?
But honestly, like even from way back, like I felt like especially with Mira, like Mira was really really good, and then obviously whatever kind of happened with that kind of went off, and then I was looking for something else to kind of watch from there, and then I was like, I knew you streamed, so I was like, oh, I'll watch a couple of that. Started getting into a couple of the other people that were obviously in his streams and stuff. Um, obviously joined your Discord not long after that, I believe, and then we just kind of like you said, we got talking, we got pretty close and stuff. And like honestly, from the get go, it's been a great experience. Like everybody's so nice, everybody's massively inclusive. If you ever need to talk to anybody about anything, even if it's like deep stuff, do you know what I mean? Even if like you do need to talk, like if you're in a bad mood, not even just in a bad mood, if you're in a bad mood or if you're depressed, anything like kind of that type of stuff, there's always somebody there to talk to, like someone to talk about anything. Like I've been on sometimes in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter what time you're on. There's always someone there because there's that many people from around the world, like in the society, that you constantly have someone to talk to, like about everything. And the amount of stuff that you've actually got on there now as well. It's like it's just grown and grown and grown from what I've seen. It's like even from the get go when I joined, it was pretty much like well fleshed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fantastic. I made some really good friends in the Tackle Society as well. Obviously, meeting yourself, like I said, and then obviously I went on from there and met a couple of people. Like I'm sure you've had a couple on Tackle Society. I know you've had a couple on Tackle Society. So, on
Mm-hmm.
Tackle about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Basically the reason why this show has kind of basically gotten the facelift that it has is we want to get to know people within the family. Essentially we are a family. You know, and the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. You know, if you don't put a little much into it, then you know you're not gonna really get the responses that you're asking for. But like you said, there's always somebody in there to talk to, and if nobody does respond, talk to somebody else, because there's more than willing people that want to get to know you. You know, and I'm very blessed because as far as we've been around, and as long as we've been around, you know, we've had very minimal toxic experiences, you know.
Honestly,
So
I think there's one or two instances over the years, but like I think that's with everything in life that you're going to have those instances of certain people. But
mhm,
overall, I'd say like pretty much 100% like positive experience of being in there.
abs-
Like I said, there's always constantly someone talking in there as well. There's always constantly something going on. There's always something to take your fancy as well.
mhm,
So say you're not in like, I mean, I have the Discord up here right now. Obviously, I'm
mhm,
talking, but like, say you're not into like, I don't know, you don't want to talk about your mental health or something like that. There's always something like, oh, I really like food. Let's talk about food. There's always somebody to talk to about that, or like, let's talk about like the wrestling stuff, or like let's talk about like what you're reading or music or something. Like I said, it's massively inclusive with stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely, you're definitely right. So can I ask how it has enhanced your experience when it comes to you actually streaming, though? Like, I mean, you know, as far as you being involved, like, can you ask, I mean, you are more or less one of the foundation members, you know, so you are kind of one of the leaders of the table. How has it enhanced your experience being one of those foundation? I know right now you've got a lot going on with brand new baby, and the you know, the wife, and you know, your oldest, I believe, is, I can't remember, graduating or college or something in that.
right, so, she's like 11 in February. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so she's getting close to that cuff though, right? She's getting
yeah, yeah.
there.
I mean, she's going
Um,
to be like a high school for a year, I think.
yeah.
Like
So she's
so,
got a
like
lot. She's got a lot going on, you know. So like, how has it enhanced your streaming, that when you do have the time, you know, as far as in that nature, how has being a part of this family helped you in that regard?
honestly, what I can find with it is when I first started streaming, I was pretty much like streaming to nobody, absolutely nobody. Like, about I didn't care. I still don't care. Like, if I go on and I stream, it's like I used to stream to absolutely nobody. It would say like zero counter the whole time. Like when I was on for like 2 hours straight, and then I come off, and it's like, yeah, it did start to get it on my nerves a little bit because I'm like, oh well, nobody's watching. It's a bit disheartening, but like I stuck with it, kind of went from there, and like people did start watching, start joining the community, start making a lot of friends. And then now when I go on, I can rely on people to be there, and I don't even have to ask anybody. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if one person jumps in, I'm happy with that. Do you know what I mean? Even if no people jump in, I'm happy with that. I'm still going to stream. I'm still enjoying my game. But I know for a fact now when I come on, there's going to be somebody I know straight away in there, and they'll say hello before I've even gone past my intro. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like that's the great thing I like about this is like the friends that I have made haven't just kind of been these kind of flaky types where it's like, oh yeah, the friends 1 minute to try and get possibly like views on their own stuff. Like they've stuck around. They've stuck around for a long time. Then they're always in
Hmm.
there every single time. Every single time, even if it's for 5 minutes, it's just like I appreciate everybody that jumps in. Like, even
Yeah.
if people go, I'm just jumping in for 5 minutes because I'm at work, just say hi, like, hope your stream goes well. It's like, yeah, thank you so much. Like, I hope to talk to you later. Do you know what I mean? And then I generally do when I come off. I generally message people and like, thank you for coming in. I hope you're doing
Yeah.
well. Like, how's everything going on? Like, yeah, because I feel like, it does. It keeps your friendships alive outside of that as well. So,
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot of questions here from tons of tacos that want to know about you. I have one more question that has kind of been, I've been dying to ask this question.
I see it's work already,
Um,
so I don't know what you're
so
gonna say here.
as much as I love you, and there's one thing that I have a bit of rival issue with. Um, you being a Blackhawks fan. So I gotta ask, what got you into being a Blackhawks fan, or what got you into hockey in general?
So this is going to sound like a stupid one, and I feel like because obviously it's your kind of sport for being over there. It's like using known for like hockey. Do you know what I mean? So right when I was a kid, started like getting into different sports and stuff like that, as any kind of kid boy does. Do you know what I mean? They start getting into sports. Never really clicked with football so much. Started to play it and stuff like that, but I was just this skinny, scrawny kid that couldn't really do anything. I wasn't fast. I wasn't any good at anything like that. So football was never my thing. Still enjoyed it. Still like watching it, stuff like that. But the physical aspect of it was just not for me. It's like I'm just I was one of these scrawny, geeky kids that like games. So football was never a good thing for me. Um, I literally there's like I would say 25 minutes away from me is like the closest ice skating rink. Like my mum and dad started taking me down there, started ice skating with my sister and stuff like that. Went down there, and when I went down there, there was a game had just finished, and all of the players and stuff like that were coming off. And obviously, as a kid, I was just like, "Oh, that they look cool." I was like, "What is that? Like, what's that?" Obviously, kind of asked my dad about what was going on. He was like, "Oh, it's ice hockey." So I started kind of like looking into that with my dad. Finally got into recreational playing, basically, because we kind of went through that, got further and further into liking hockey, and then eventually, what I did is I started obviously playing. I got into a youth team. I played for a good couple of years, and over that time, I was kind of like everybody was all into a team. I was like, I've just started playing. I don't know any teams, but they all started going on about teams. All started going on about this. They started showing different logos and stuff like that. And this is where the stupid part comes in. So just off the logo alone, I was like, I like that one. What's that one? And then it turned out being a Blackhawks type thing. What was the logo for the Blackhawks, and then from there, I've just kind of I started watching them, and then just stuck with them throughout, like through thick and thin. I'd say through thick more than anything, but we've had some good seasons.
So you're saying that you chose Blackhawks because of the logo? I mean, Red Wings has a great logo. I mean, it's not too late to switch. I'm just saying.
To be fair, I'm sure you've got one of our players now, right?
We have to. They always flip flop back and forth. It's almost so hard to keep up anymore. Yeah, I'm just saying that I think you slowly might have almost turned Frenchie into a Blackhawks fan, although he likes the Ducks. But
I mean, is he one of those though? Because he saw it years ago. Because the Mighty Ducks was a big thing, like as a film, everybody loved that. See, this is what happened, right? So I loved the logo for the Mighty Ducks back in the day, and I love those movies. And I would have loved to have liked that team. So, but apart from like those movies, because I can still watch those movies now and kind of have a nostalgic feel.
Oh yeah,
they're great movies, like for when you were younger. But like I don't know, I watch the Anaheim Ducks now, and I'm like, like they've got some good games in them and that, but like I don't know. Apart from the logo, they've got nothing going for me personally. But saying that, everybody goes, "Well, you're a Hawks fan. How can they have like? How can they not have anything going for them?" But there you go.
Yeah, Fritchie, he said Portsmouth FC is owner and created of that team. So I knew it was because of the movies. I knew because it was something about a football league that our football team he follows had something to do with it. So
yeah, at least there's a backstory to it. Then at least he's sponsored for some kind of reason, and not
that's
just
true, right? That's
just
true.
I like the logo, and I went from there.
That's true. All right, so we're gonna start diving into the questions here. The tacos, you've got quite a few here. We're gonna start here. All these first sets are from Wild One Double XL. She wants to know how you got into streaming.
No, it's pretty simple with this one. I started watching quite a bit of Twitch, and kind of came up with the idea of, well, I like watching people play, but I like gaming as well, and I like talking to people, and I like making, like, do you know what I mean? I like gaming, and like I said before, when we used to be on the 360, I used to love being on with a part of a team and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to get back into that community aspect of doing stuff, and I thought, what a great way to do it. Doing it on Twitch, it's like I can do that. Like if other people can do it, because I watch some people and I'm like, I really enjoy your streams, really enjoy your streams. But then I'd flick over to certain ones that were really big streamers, and I'm just like, you're literally doing nothing on stream, and so many people are watching you.
Oh,
like you're
yeah.
literally not doing anything. You're literally sitting there, and like I don't know. You're checking your phone for like 2 hours long. Do you know what I mean? And like they've got thousands of views. I was like, how? How was this possible? It's like, right, if they can do it, I can do it. Like it's that simple. I just need the right kind of equipment, and I can go out and do it. Like, so that got us into it eventually, and since then it's just kind of like spiraled into even better stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
I got you. Definitely, definitely. Um, so her next question kind of adds on to that. It says, "What inspired you to start streaming?" Which you kind of touched on a little bit. But
yeah,
she wants to know what was the specific moment that
I don't even know what your
influenced
name is,
you
bud.
to
a
streaming.
specific moment. Oh, I don't know if there was an actual specific moment, but I think it was because I saw a couple of friends doing it, and they were getting pretty big with it. And I was like, that's actually pretty, like, that's actually inspired me to go and do it myself. Like, because I'd kind of touched on it going, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it. But it's like, do I have the time? Do I really want to do it? Then I saw a couple of like close friends doing it, and they were like, oh, yeah, I'm getting like 300, 400 people in watching every time. I'm like, dude, like, you literally live around the corner from me. If you can get that kind of viewership, and you
Mm-hmm.
like literally live around the corner from me and do the same type of thing, like I'm sure I could do the same type of thing. So I think I was like, right, if if you're a lonely lad from where I'm from, then I'm an lonely lad from where I'm from, then I'm sure I can do it, no problem. So that kind of inspired, like, give us a kick up the arse to do it. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Next question she asks is, how was your streaming journey evolved from when you started till now?
I think I've already touched on this a little bit, but like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I've went from doing it like just basically gaming and being streaming to no one. Like literally, like just coming
Mm-hmm.
on, I press live and then I play it, and then I haven't been talking to anybody at all, and just kind of like I may as well have muted myself for the entire 2 hours I was on. It's like I said, it's went from being I started playing and like being a little bit disheartening because like nobody is watching, and I think for the
Mm-hmm.
most part when you are streaming, you do want at least somebody watching because I mean
Mm-hmm.
that's part and parcel of it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, over time it's kind of grew and grew and grew from there. It's like now I'm not so much like at first I was so bothered about people watching us and people like having the viewership and stuff like that. Whereas like now I've got people there all of the time, and now I'm not bothered about who's watching. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
not so much not bothered, like not cared. It's just like I'm not bothered on my viewership now. But if so, like I said, if somebody comes in and says hi for 5 minutes and then goes,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm as appreciative of that as somebody that can stick around for the whole time I'm on as well and talks to me the whole time I'm on. It's like everybody means everything to us now that comes in. Like even if it's a complete stranger, I'll make sure like I'd say hello, how's the day going? Because it's like that's what I'm in it for. If I can make one person's day just by saying hello or something like that, or like just having a
Mm-hmm.
chat with them, and that's the main thing I want to do with it. You know what I mean? It's like if I can do gaming in the meantime as well as doing that as well, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something right.
I love that answer. Just making one person's day or making an impact. That was such a great answer. I love how you said that. Um, Next thing she says is, can you share a key milestone or a memorable moment while you're streaming? Something that has done to you or happened that you've never had happen before, or leave you speechless.
Anytime I get anytime I get any more followers, anytime I get any more followers, like from the first follow, that was a key milestone for me. If I get 10 followers, I was just like, oh, that's fantastic. It's like I said before with the whole viewership thing. It's like at one point it did bother me, and like I did want to try and get as many people as possible following me or stuff like that. Now it's just like if, like I said, it's just like if one person follows me, I'm appreciative of that. If another 500 people follow me, it's like, oh, fantastic! Like this is kind of what I want out of it. It's just like if I can get a great viewership, if I can get a great following and stuff like that, if I can get a great community coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, make somebody's day with it. Like, yeah, fantastic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, like the whole thing about this is the gaming. Like, if I can enjoy it, if I enjoy it, if other people enjoy it, that's my main aspect with it.
Sure, yeah. Um, she says, how do you decide on your content you'll be streaming based on audience or personal interest?
Now I just play what the hell I like, basically. I used to try and like get the newest games coming out and stuff like that because I was like, oh, that's probably going to get the most people in, or like, I want to play this or I want to play that. But now I'm like, right, I want to play this today, and I'm really enjoying this game, so I'm going to play this. And that's the easiest answer I can give for now. Like I said before, I would kind of like pander to what people might want to watch, or I'd kind of look at what else was doing pretty well at the time. But now I'm just kind of like, do you know what it is? I get so caught up in the algorithm of things. If I like, say, if I went on a Call of Duty, everybody knows Call of Duty's very kind of you would just get lost in the algorithm and that because everybody and their mom is like streaming that. Everybody and their mom and their dog is streaming that. There's thousands upon thousands of streams that you can get lost in for Call of Duty or Battlefield and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like if I am feeling that I want to play that game that day, I'll play it. Like that's simple as. It's like if I want to just kind of chill out, but talk to people. It's like, right, I want to play on Battlefield for a bit, even though I might get lost in the algorithm. I'm like, I don't care. that's basically it now. I'm really enjoying Baldur's Gate at the moment, so I'm like, I really want to stream lots and lots of that. So
that's great. She asks, can you describe your streaming setup, equipment you use to create content? So what do you like use completely to stream?
So I may have to bring up my actual spec things because I can never remember overall. But I am using Blue Yeti mics. I use mostly Razer gear for stuff. I know my camera is a Razer Pro. It's a 4K resolution one as well. Well, it should be, but obviously with going on Twitch, I think everything gets like dumbed down to like 1080p. So um my PC, I couldn't get you the specs for. I know it's got a 2060 Super in, and I'm running an i7 with it as well. I don't generally play a lot of PC stuff. I am trying a little bit more to try and get out there, but as you might know yourself, with when you're using Streamlabs and stuff like that, Streamlabs OBS can use a hell of a lot of power. And
Oh
then trying to
yeah.
run PC games as well, it kind of puts a lot of strain on your computer, and it sounds like it's like trying to take off. And I've got a hell of a lot of good stuff in there as well. like yeah, part of that I use a Stream Deck as well. It's just massively helps me with like using transitions and stuff like that, or managing to turn mics on and off and stuff. Like I didn't realize how much you could actually do with them, even
Oh
just as
yeah.
simple as shout out and stuff like that. Like honestly, it's helped my streams so much since I got it. Like I could
I
recommend anybody to buy one of those. Like it will help you out. Like it just
mhm.
means I'm not doing this every 5 minutes, like with a mouse and going
Yeah.
like click, 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 like click.
Yep.
Like I can literally just press something on the Stream Deck and it's already there. It's done. It's going on to the next transition. It's going on to the next thing, and it's just so much smoother. Um, other stuff
Yeah.
that I might have, I don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Stream Deck is probably one of the best investments I've ever had for making content, because like TWS gets ran entirely through the Stream Deck. Like it's so convenient to do it. I love it. It's honestly, I don't know where it's been all my life. If I would have had the Stream Deck back when we were doing the Rogue Company leagues and the PUBG leagues and stuff like that, it would have made it so much easier compared to what we did. But hey, we made it work. We made it work. Big shout out, actually, your Rogue Company partner is in our presence as well. She wants to say hello, so she says hello to you.
Oh,
Um,
it's been a while
uh,
since Rogue Company. Damn.
yeah, been a long time since we've done that. She asks here, do you have any tips or recommendations for someone looking to set up their own station?
Like streaming and stuff like that. Honestly, do what you want to do with it. Like I think like that was my main downfall when I started doing it. I was trying to be like too many people, or I was trying to pigeonhole myself into certain things. Whereas now it's like try and take advice from certain people, but don't take on exactly what they're doing. If you know what I mean.
Mhm.
If it's going to help you progress, then fine. But what I found is a lot of people were telling me like join certain discords or join certain like groups and communities and stuff like that will help push you. But then it was just basically a lot of communities where it would just be like like for like or follow for follow, and then they would never actually watch your stuff, and like, do you know what I mean? It was just very like kind of fake in that type of aspect. But honestly, all I can say is play exactly what you want. Talk to whoever you want. Like start to make a good like a community around stuff as well. Like I said, this is the main thing I can think when you're doing streaming is community is everything with it. Because if you have good people around you, like you can only push each other. Like that's the main thing from it. Yeah, get you set up and stuff like that. You don't have to go expensive either. Like you can literally get cheap cameras, you can get cheap mics and stuff like that. Yeah, they won't sound the best, but if people are there and they like you enough, they are going to stick around. So you don't need the most expensive setup in the world. As long as you can run stuff and you can play the games and people enjoy it, that's it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, perfect. You're exactly spot on with all of that. Who are your streaming role models or influencers in the streaming worlds?
Oh, I see. This is hard because I used to like watching a whole bunch of people, but now I just think like I don't know. They're all, all of the big ones are all just kind of like annoying now. Like I used to watch quite a bit of like PewDiePie and like stuff like that, but like now I'm just like you were really annoying back then and you're really annoying now, and I didn't realize it at the time. Like, Ninja's another one and stuff like that. But these aren't people I kind of looked up to. They were just kind of like they were the big thing at the time. Like they were the like Billy Big Bollocks at the time, and like I
Mm-hmm.
think you watched them because you heard of them, like Shroud. You heard of Shroud and stuff, and then um, I think honestly, and this is going to sound proper thingy, right? I would say at the moment you've inspired me the most to kind of get on with stuff. Like Mio was the one at the time, and then obviously he fell off, and then like, but you've been pushing a lot of stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? You've you've pushed a lot of people to do great things, and I think that goes back to you as well. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of people help you out with stuff, and they want to push you with your stuff, and I think like that's why I said it's great to have a community because people are genuine with each other. They are pushing each other to become better things with stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
and man,
I would say that's my main influence now. It's because I've seen you doing
oh,
so well with everything, and you keep going from like yeah, everybody's probably going to say I'm soppy and everything and the thing, but it's just like no, I've made a great friendship with you now, and I love seeing friends progress. I love seeing people like get to the levels that they are, and like it kind of knocked us when everything kind of went tits up a little bit, and then
mm-hmm.
like, but that would it just we build up from here, dude. That's what we do. We keep
Yeah,
going. We build an empire. That's what we do.
yeah. I mean, it's only gonna couple of year. It take a couple of years before I start getting annoying like the other streamers, right? And you won't have to talk to me. Or
I don't think I'll just tell you.
Fritz, he's gonna be like, "What do you mean a couple years for you to be annoying? You're annoying now." uh, let's see. How do you manage to balance between streaming and your personal life?
Very fucking difficult. Apologies
Yeah.
for my language, but yeah, it's one of those. It's like I'd love to be streaming a lot more, but I think like with work and family and having a new baby and stuff like that, like it is a lot. Like and getting on here is like not. I wouldn't say it's not a priority. Like it's not a main priority to try and get on in games. You know what I mean? It's like my whole gaming thing as a whole, not just streaming, is kind of took like a back seat for the time being. It's like if I can get on for an hour or stuff like that, I generally get on and I enjoy myself.
Hmm.
I am trying to get back into the streaming thing. Like even the missus is telling us she was just like, go and stream. Like you haven't like,
Yeah.
but I like to spend time with them. I like to spend time with the baby. I like to spend time with my daughter. So like I'm like, oh well, I was gonna stream tonight, but I'll spend time with them. She's like, go stream. Like stop
Yeah.
doing that stuff and go stream, enjoy yourself for a little bit. And it's like I think I do need to like disconnect at certain times and go and do stuff like this and enjoy myself a little bit more. But I think I'm just too much of a proud parent and a proud family man at
Hey.
some time, kind of, and with work as well. It's kind of like you've got to balance it out well. But yeah,
I'm.
I'd say to
I mean,
anybody that's wanting to do it or anything like that, like just prioritize really. Like
yeah.
I will get back into it and I will do it, and I'm glad that people are still sticking around. Like I may lose a few people by not being on, but at the end of the day, it's life.
Absolutely. Um. And the next question here, the last question here by Wild here. She's saying if you could have like it's kind of touches on the second or the question she just asked, but can you give any basically advice for people trying to balance their work and streaming life or content life?
Yeah, said just prioritize things, just do things in moderation, basically. Like, don't try and do too much with stuff. It's like, don't
Mhm.
feel like you have to hand it to people to be on. It's like, if you have shit going on in your life, prioritize that, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
that's going to take a knock-on effect to your streaming life, you know what I mean? So if you start neglecting things in your personal life, it's going to
Mhm.
eventually, like, it's eventually going to catch up with you. So just moderation in prioritizing is the best thing to do. Make time for yourself, make time for streaming, even if it's just for half an hour streaming or like an hour.
Mhm.
Like, people are still going to watch as long as you can be consistent with it. That's my main problem at the
Right.
moment. Consistency. Like, once I get my consistency back, like that's I can shoot for the stars from there. I just need a consistency in a couple of days where I know I can do it. So
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Wild, for all those questions. We appreciate you. We're gonna move into Mama Pumpkin Pie here. You kind of touched on a little bit of the type of music you like. If you want to reiterate, she asked, "What type of music are you into?" So if you want to
So
go
I,
ahead
I
and.
would say from a get go, everybody looks at us and goes, "You're definitely a metalhead," which you would be right with that. You would be 100%, 110%, 1,000% correct with a metalhead. But I've got so much kind of musical background in my bones. It's like I like a variety of stuff. So my main thing would be, yeah, like I do like me screamy stuff. I do like me shouty stuff. I like Slipknot. I like Korn. I grew up with an age of like my dad got me into stuff like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Meatloaf, like stuff like that back in the day. And then my mum was like a big fan of like the Bay City Rollers and the Beatles and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say I delved so much into my mum's side of stuff. I just kind of
Mhm.
went more to my dad's side of things, and progressed from there. But over the years, I've just kind of listened to a bit of everything, really. I'm a big David Bowie fan. Like, not a lot of people look at us and say that, but I have like David Bowie
Yeah.
tattoos and like all sorts like that. I like stuff like Prince.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like I like
Absolutely.
a few bits of chart music. I like I used to like some of the Clubland stuff back in the day, but like now I'll listen to a bit of everything really, as long as it's not annoying.
Mhm.
Then
I
yeah,
I
I'll listen to.
I find that like the older I get, the more relaxed I am with music. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. Like I don't really care for obviously like the newer rap when it comes to like the whole Doja Cat and the Cardi B and stuff like that. But I don't like despise it as much as I did when I was younger. So I find myself listening to a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
But yeah,
like
I get what you.
yeah, I like a little bit of R&B. I like a little bit of rap and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like the rap stuff I like is like way older stuff. Like I like a couple of things now, but like I was a big fan of Eminem for like his first couple of
Mm-hmm.
albums. I still quite like him now. He's still doing some good stuff. But I would say like his last couple of albums, I've been like I've liked the one or two songs, but
Yeah.
overall not so much. Like I'm much more of a Logic kind of guy now. Like I like Logic. I
Mm-hmm.
like Jonah Lucas stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like I still listen to stuff that's like the '90s rap, like NWA, Cypress
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
stuff along those type of lines. Wu Tang Clan, yeah, Beastie Boys, like that. That's my type of rap stuff. Like that's what I like. I like a little bit. I used to like DMX, Ja
Yeah.
Rule, stuff like that. Like so, I am pretty like well rounded with music and stuff. I like a little bit of classical every now and then,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
Um, she asked, what are your hobbies and how did you get into them? That could be a long list of answers, I'm sure.
yeah,
If you
we
want to just sum up a couple.
So, right off the bat, I can tell you, right. So, obviously, I used to be in ice hockey and stuff like that. I still am in ice hockey. I watch it quite a bit. I like football. Like, I like watching that. So that, like, watching stuff, watching films, watching TV shows. Those are kind of
Mm-hmm.
hobbies. But then I've got stuff like
Mm-hmm.
Magic the Gathering, which I
Mm-hmm.
like. Magic the Gathering. I like. I play a lot of D&D. like actual physical aspects of D&D, going out and sitting and obviously going through campaigns and stuff like that. That's my main thing at the moment. Like I think I've massively delved in. Like you can see, I have D&D dice in the background. Like, do
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's one of those things that I've just like I got into it earlier on, and then I've just progressively got more and more into it as I went on. So,
Gotcha.
but
Well,
that's the short answer anyway.
she asked, what was your favorite age growing up?
What was my favorite age?
Yes.
I'd probably say it right now, to be honest. That's been my favorite age so far. Like I don't know, like I've liked certain parts of like growing up and that, and I liked me teenage years for a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I was quite a rebel as a teenager as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit of a little bit of a one of those type of trouble causer back then, and I don't know, I have some kind of regrets about being a little trouble causer back then. So I think now is like the perfect time. Like I have a perfect family. I have perfect friends and that around us. I finally found like who the right type of friends and that are. I'm not hanging about with the wrong type of people and that, and yeah, just everything seems pretty good. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. My bones ache sometimes, but overall, it's not a bad place to be. So
She asked, what was the last TV show you binged watch?
properly binge watched.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So I know this is going back a little bit now, but the one show I properly binge watched in a while was Sons of Anarchy. And I properly binge watched that. Like I couldn't wait for the next one. The next one after that, I would probably say was Vikings.
Vikings.
I had to binge watch that as well after that. But after that, I've kind of tried to get into TV shows, and then I don't know what it is about stuff. I just can't get it. Mandalorian. There you go.
Yeah,
That's the last thing.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian was really, really good. Ahsoka, I've just binge watched that. Literally from first episode all the way through to the most recent episode. I couldn't stop watching that. I'm trying to get into Breaking Bad. I've got 4 seasons through that, and I'm still waiting for that to get good. Um, I don't know what it is. Walking Dead, I fell off that after season
Yeah.
7. I've only just started to like pick it up back up again because I'm like, if I've got 7 seasons through it, why not finish it off and try and
Finish it.
get
Yeah.
there? Like I'd feel bad if I didn't finish it because now I've got unanswered questions of what's happening with stuff. But season 8, at the start of season 8, it just dragged so much that I was just like, hold on, how can you go from season 7 being so good and bringing like Negan into it and stuff like that, and like having that being so well like written, and then going
Mm-hmm.
into season 8 just slowing everything right down again? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Like I just didn't get it, so I didn't watch it for the longest time. So I'm trying to get back into that. Trying to actually finally catch up with American Horror Story because I started getting into a couple of seasons of that, but the different people would tell me different seasons were better than others. So I started at random points. So like I've never actually seen American Horror Story in like chronological order, if you get what I mean.
Gotcha. She asked, do you like to go to the movies or do you prefer watching them at home?
Ah, at home, much more now. I think as I get older, I get more anxious about actually being out anywhere.
Oh, I'm right there with you, man. I am right there with you. I don't even want to go to the grocery store. Like that's right there with you.
Like,
I
obviously,
used.
I get it. I work in a retail shop. It's like I'm constantly
Mm-hmm.
dealing with people every single day. So like when I do go, I don't want to be surrounded by like loads of people again. Like I have my friends, I hang around with my friends, I hang around with my family. But
Mm-hmm.
like when it comes to films, like I'd much rather kind of sit in, get
Mm-hmm.
cozy, get a couple of snacks, and then
Mm-hmm.
like just chill and just watch stuff at home and like have that kind of cozy aspect to it. Whereas I did used to like cinemas, but I don't know. It's kind of one of those where it's like half the time they're empty now, and then when they're not
Yeah.
empty, they're packed, and then people are talking over stuff, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not one for people talking over films, especially in a cinema, and I'm just like, I get so frustrated with it. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you. When me and Heartless first got together, we would go to the movies like almost twice or 3 times a week. We've seen every movie. We would watch every movie that month, that was in the theater, regardless if it was good or bad. And now, like, it's like almost feels like it's a nuisance to go to the movies. Like, we don't want to go. So, I feel you, definitely feel you on that. The next question she asks is, how old were you when you had your first celebrity crush, and who was it?
Oh, oh. I mean, this is probably going way back, but do you remember like The Mask? You remember like that first scene, like
Yeah,
Cameron
the
Diaz? Well,
really Cameron Diaz was your first crush.
that was probably my first crush, like being as like a kid
Okay.
and stuff like that. But it's like I've never been that big on like crushes from films, but like I think going way back and seeing that, and it was just like that scene for any kind
Yeah,
of kid. Come on, I think that's like I think I'm right
I
with
was.
that one much.
I could see that scene being one of the first scenes that a young boy would watch and be like, "Whoa," So I get that. I get that. That's funny. Do you have any pet peeves at all? This is our final question.
Uh I probably just have a mountain of them, but it's like I kind of don't let them bother us as much either. Though I'm really relaxed with stuff. Like I probably do let stuff get at us in my head, but then I'm just like, woosah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, do you know what I mean? There's much worse happening in the world than like something that can annoy us for 5 seconds. But I know it's a bit of a crappy answer, but that's my answer from it anyway.
I just had a question kick up here as far as kind of adding on what Mama Pumpkin. I don't know if anybody watches. Are you afraid of anything? Like, do you have any phobias or anything like that?
I hate moths. It's
Moths?
really,
Okay.
really weird.
Yeah.
I like I usually like spiders and stuff, and like people don't get this, but moths is probably my thing. Now everybody knows me fear. Like that sucks. Like, everybody's just gonna send me pictures of moths and stuff like that now.
No.
But if they fly up at us, that's what I'm like thinking. I used to have a weird thing with balloons. Like I couldn't stand like balloons banging around us. I don't know what it was, but like I don't have
Hey.
that now. I'm fine with that, but
Yeah.
like I think
You're.
my biggest thing with everything is failing.
I mean,
Like
you're talking to an individual that's afraid of cotton, man. I don't like the feel. I don't like the look. I raw cotton just scares the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. So, hey, man,
right,
don't.
that's totally with my like my thing with moths. Like people probably don't get my thing with moths. So, but
No.
yeah, I think my biggest thing if you're going in like a deeper level, it's failing. Like
Hmm.
the my biggest fear is failing at anything. Do you know what I mean? And I think like that's my completionist in me. Like if you know what
Yeah.
I mean. It's like I don't want to fail anybody for any kind of reason. Like I'd much rather kind of see it out or
Hmm.
like whatever the outcome instead of failing someone. But
Yeah, definitely. So that's everything by Mama Pumpkin. The next person we go into is Alm here. She wants to know how you came up with your name per streaming.
I don't actually think I've told anybody this. It was like me and a friend were starting out this thing at first, so we were going to be like doing it as I was doing it so much of the time, he was doing it so much of the time, and like we were going to make like a whole expansive thing out of it. So we've always had like ideas of podcasts and like gaming, and then we were going to go into like guitar playthroughs and stuff because me and my friend obviously were musicians and stuff. So we were going to do stuff band wise and stuff like that on there. So at first it was going to be called. I think we started out with Novacade Gaming, and that was from Destiny. We kind of took
Hmm.
Cade's name and put it at the end of like Nova because we quite like the word Nova, and then we went from there, and then kind of. I don't know what happened with it, but basically it was like I was much more into it than he was, and then he kind of fell off it. So I was like, well, that was kind of our name for that. So I didn't want to use that, but I kind of still like the sound of it. And then I
Hmm.
started playing Diablo one day, and I really got into like the whole like the spawn on there, like they call like, do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? One of the classes is like a necromancer, and like
Oh
one of
yeah.
the spawn, and I kind of mashed the word up together and used necro spawn from there. So it originally started out as necro spawn entertainment because I
Hmm.
was going to go still with the aspect of playing guitar stuff and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing around it all was going to be gaming. So eventually I changed it to necro spawn gaming, and here we are.
Yeah, I love Diablo 2. Necro, being the necromancer was my favorite class to pick. I think I've only beat the game with that class only. I love it. It's phenomenal. It's a great. I I just love Diablo 2. It was so good. Um, have you traveled anywhere? I'm
Not
gonna
recently.
I'm gonna guess she means like out of the UK. She usually likes to know if you've been to like other countries and stuff.
So, yeah, I mean, over the years, I've been to a few places. Most of them have been like Spanish countries, so I've been to stuff like Tenerife and Mallorca and like family holidays and stuff, like with my parents growing up. But I've been to Forteventura, like I went there a couple of years ago now with Ava, my daughter. We went there to Forteventura. She loved that. Years and years ago, when I was 17, I did actually go stateside. I went to Florida, as most of us in the UK do. Apparently, Florida is like the one-stop place to go to in the States. I have since learned that it's probably like it doesn't even start to kind of fill the void of where I want to go in the States now. Like, if you know what I mean. Like
Mm-hmm.
Florida was good. It was good to experience the states and stuff like that. But now that I've kind of got further and further on in my life, I'm like, I want to visit so many places in the states. It's unreal, and Florida's definitely not one of them again.
She asks, how long have you been streaming in total?
On and off, probably is about 6 or 7 years since I've started doing the necro spawn thing. I think it's been over the last 3 years, on and off. But I have been like the last 2 years, I've been really, really trying to push it
Mm-hmm. What do
with
you
this.
like? What do you like and dislike about streaming?
Um, like I said, I love talking to people. I love gaming. I love being able to like kind of come on and like have the same kind of interest to somebody else online, or be able to talk about the game I'm playing a little bit more in depth and just like kind of spend that time chilling. But having something with somebody on there, like where I can actually talk about it. The dislikes, I don't know. It's getting lost in the algorithm, I suppose, like not
Yeah.
kind of getting found or like kind of being. I mean, yes, I am a small stream and stuff like that, and like I think, like I said earlier, I think everybody wants to kind of shoot for the stars with it. So I think the dislikes is kind of like sometimes it can get disheartening when you're like on and then nobody is watching. But like stick with it honestly, because like people do come in. Those people that do want to talk to you and do want to have a chat with you they will turn up. Like they will turn up and people will come on. So I think it's just kind of getting past that whole thing of, oh, well, nobody's watching us, so I'm gonna call it quits. I'm not gonna do it.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm definitely a night owl. I hate mornings so much. I hate getting up. But the thing is, it's like I hate lions as well. Though it's kind of like it's a two-sided sword. It's like because I can't. Once I'm awake, I'm awake. Like whether it be like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Like once I'm up, like my brain just tells us I'm up, so I can't really get back to sleep. But mornings, I'm just like as soon as I get up, like, even though I start work at like 8:45, it's like still getting up on a morning is so much of a hard task for me to do because I like sleeping, I like being comfortable. Like so, yeah, I'm much more of a night owl.
Okay. Um, she asks, what motivates you?
Um, that's actually a pretty good question. That's probably the only one I've been stumped with so far. um, do you know what? My family motivates me. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I'm very much family oriented kind of guy.
Mhm.
It's just like just making people happy as well. Like
Yeah.
overall, it's like I like seeing other people happy. I like being like making other people happy. Seeing other people happy and enjoying their lives makes me happy. That motivates me. Like, you know what I mean? I just want
Hmm.
everybody to get along.
Yeah,
I should be
definitely.
president. Like, just make everybody get along.
Uh, do you have any projects you're working on now?
Ooh, what kind of project? Do we
Anything?
like well, I mean I've got something in the pipeline, but I'm I'm keeping it
No,
on the nose.
no.
There's
Yeah.
I've got
He's not gonna tell you his secrets, everybody. No, just kidding. Um,
basically all I'm gonna say is I've got some band stuff lined up, so you might be
okay.
seeing me out and about with some kind of
Okay.
stuff pretty soon. So I've been working on some stuff basically, and like it's all me. It's all me basically so far. So
Nice. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Ooh, right. So I'm going to be a bit boring to start my first answer off, but I am going to iterate on it a little bit as well. So I love pizza, any type of pizza. Apart from don't put pineapple on pizza. Apart from that, I'll have anything on a pizza. Like the more meat, the better on a pizza. But I love pizzas, any kind of things. Like really, like that's my thing with them. But I really love seafood as well. I love stuff like crayfish,
Mm-hmm.
like crawfish and stuff. I love stuff like sea bass. I love stuff like haddock and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
It's
man, yeah.
so good. I love stuff like that. What else? I love Chinese food. Really, really love
Oh
Chinese. I love that type of stuff. Those are my favorites off the top of my head. But I like to snack as well. Like I like crisps and stuff like that. I really, really like crisps. So,
man, I'm getting hungry. Uh, do you have any unique talents at all?
uh, uh, not particularly. I always
I
find like I'm.
mean, I would say you play guitar, right? That's pretty unique.
I think I always look at it and I'm just like, there's always somebody better than us. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
there's always way better than us. But yeah, I mean, I play guitar. I draw quite a bit. I try to draw quite a bit. Self-taught with that, and then like everybody actually says it's actually pretty good. But I kind of look at it and I think I'm the worst kind of person for my own stuff because I look at it and I'm just like, oh, I can see all my mistakes in it, but everybody else is like, it's amazing. Like it is really good. Like, what are you talking about? What's
Um, that is the final question from Alm. We appreciate you submitting those. Thank you so much. We're gonna move into Papa Pumpkin Pie. Here has some questions. So the other half of Mama Pumpkin, Papa wants to know a little bit about you. He says, if you could go back in time and change anything, what would that be?
anything? Me being a little shit back in school, basically. Like I was saying before, when I was a teenager, I was a bit of a rebel and stuff like that, and I really regret. Like basically, like not a lot of people know this about us, and I don't like to tell them because it's like I don't want it to kind of tarnish my image, if you know what I mean. It's like it really bugs us. But like back in school, I was a bit of a rebel. I like to be the class clown. I wasn't one of these that was violent or anything. I was just the class clown. I like to make a lot of jokes and stuff like that. But it got us into a lot of trouble at school. I got kicked out of school. Um, yeah, like I had to go on like an alternative education program where I kind of went, oh damn, like I really need to start putting me like head into gear now and like really starting to put my foot down with stuff. Like, but yeah, that was the one thing I can probably say I regret in life because it's made it harder for us to do this type of stuff, if you know what I mean. Like to get into jobs and stuff like that, it made it harder for us. I really had to work for what I wanted to do.
Gotcha. He also asked, who is your biggest inspiration to be the best version of yourself or the best person you can be?
Ooh, biggest inspiration. I wouldn't say like I tend not to take inspiration. I tend not to try and take inspiration from anybody. I like to just try and be my own person and kind of like inspire myself. Do you know what I mean? Will myself on to
Hmm.
do it. It's like I I always take this kind of notion of like I can succeed at anything if I put my mind to
Hmm.
it, and
Yeah.
I need to be the one that pushes forward and does this because I'll be much more respected for that if I do it myself. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, I have taken inspiration off people. Like, I take inspiration from my friends. I take
Hmm.
inspiration from like other people that are around us that motivate me and like push me and stuff like that. So yeah, like that's the ones I can take the inspiration from. I can say.
Yeah. Definitely. Um, he asks here, what is one thing you would pass on to a newer streamer or content creator? What's one thing you could say to somebody?
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Simple. Absolutely be yourself. Do what you love. Do what you want. Because if you start doing stuff like that and you don't enjoy it and stuff, you are gonna fail big time. Like I'm not saying I'm not being harsh with that. If you know what I mean, I'm just being a realist with it. Like if you
Hmm.
start not enjoying it, I think it will really like it will be really demeaning on you, and I think it will start to kind of crush you if you're like, well, why is stuff not going right? Why is stuff not
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is that? Why did that work for them but not for me? Like, I think you have to be your own person with it. You have to like, because I think that's what people respect more with you as well. I think people do
Yep.
respect you when you're being genuine and when you're just being yourself and just putting it out there for the world to see. Really, I mean, like I said, I started with like trying to appease to people or trying to like play certain games and like I never got anything with it. Since I've started being myself and started like having the friends and that around us, it's just took off from there and it started to get really, really good. Like I just chill with it now, so I'm happy with it.
That's awesome. That's a great advice for somebody. He asked, what would you classify as a perfect day? So, well,
Perfect day.
yeah.
Ooh. Um, honestly, this
What is your ideal perfect day? Let's say, what is your ideal perfect day for you?
ideal perfect day is having a great day with the family. Honestly, going out with the little man, going out with the missus and stuff like that, or staying in, just doing nothing all day. Maybe it's just watching films or just spending time together, having that time just to like yeah,
Hmm.
just to chill with each other, if you know what I mean, and just be a general like part of a family and like or being out and enjoying stuff together. Like it makes us so happy that I can get out and do that. Because like I said, a lot of my time is taken up with work or it is taken up with other things, stuff like that. So when I can have that time with my family and then be like that, it's perfect for me. Like if we can go out and we can get snacks, or like if we can just like chill, or
Hmm.
yeah, like you'll know yourself, like getting out with the family and enjoying stuff, even if it's just like the simplest of things. It's amazing.
Absolutely, great answer. For that. His final question here that he asked is, any friends that you wish you could reconnect with?
Now, this one hit me so fucking hard when I actually read it right because, like again, it's one of those things I don't generally delve into, but this is kind of like it's the whole point of being here today. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
I had I've had a few friends like over the years that have had mental health issues and stuff like that, and it's got to a point like they're no longer with us, and it hurts. It does hurt. Like, do
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And it's like it's one of those where it's like I can never now hang about with those. I can't talk to them. I can't do anything like that. And it's like I regret that. Do you know what I mean? It's like because I regret the time I could have spent with them, or the times that I've turned around and I've says, "Oh, I'm too busy" and stuff like that. And it's like, but like I can't kind of I can't dwell on that either. Do you know what I mean? It's like because I
Hmm.
think if I dwelled on that and kept going down that route, it's like it sucks because it's like I'm not prioritizing it myself as well, and it would drag me down further. But I think that's the one thing I do regret about it, that I didn't get like that extra 5 minutes with them, or that extra 5 minutes to say like I appreciate you or like I love you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the one thing I regret about stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Papa, great questions. We appreciate you submitting those. Now we move into someone that absolutely loves and adores you and actually claims you as her own, Miss Heartless Slayer. So, Miss Heartless asks, what is your favorite memory of being in Scarred by Truth?
In the band, I'd say the biggest memory I've got from it, and the best memory I've got from being in the band is when I was talking to another band that's actually making pretty big waves over here, and they've been playing some pretty big festivals and stuff. They managed. I actually started talking to them and it says, "Listen, you were playing local soon. You're playing at like our local, um, basically the local bar, the biggest bar that we've got around here. That's like one of my favorite places to play. Is there any chance we can get on with you?" And they were like, "Yeah, send us your stuff. We'll see what'll happen." So I sent them the stuff, and within like half an hour, they were just like, "You sound incredible. Like, yeah, like we'd love to have you on." So then that was like the first time we probably got a show in. Like we played that place before, but it was always kind of like local bands and smaller stuff. And then they came out with like a whole production. So they had all of the stuff in the background and like all of these like toy boxes and like all of this black and white kind of scenery and stuff like that going on. It just looked incredible, and it's just like, do you know what? Like, I fully enjoyed that because the whole show was fantastic from start to finish. Like, and it's like probably is the, the tightest we've ever played. Like, and it was just a really good experience all around, and that's like the one thing that sticks with me from that. So,
Very cool, very cool. The next thing she asks is, what do you love most about being a dad?
um, just a love and adoration, really. It's just like waking up and it's like, especially at the moment, like my daughter kind of like she's back and forth between like my house and like her mom's house and stuff like that because she's from a previous relationship. But like Malachi's constantly with us, like the baby. Honestly, waking up to him every single day, like and just seeing that smile, that beaming smile, and little laugh first thing in the morning is like it's amazing. It just makes my like I could wake up in the foulest mood in the world, like, and just be like, I'm so goddamn tired. I'm so like, do you know what I mean? I could have like toothache. I could have like the biggest headache in the world. Just seeing that smile literally make my day go from like 0 to like 100%, like
Yeah,
in 2 seconds. And like it's just so awesome being a dad. Like I
yeah,
always thought, you know, I was just like, oh, I'd never saw myself as a dad, but like obviously with stuff how stuff turned out and how I had kids, like obviously it's more than amazing. Like I can't ask for anything more.
yeah, definitely, definitely. She asked, "What is your Hogwarts house?"
Oh, my personal one or the one I got handed to in Hogwarts Legacy.
I think she means your personal one. What do you think who you belong to in terms
Oh,
of?
who I belong to, I'd probably say I'm a Ravenclaw. I'd probably say I would like to be a Ravenclaw, but I got put in Hufflepuff House on Legacy, so I just stuck with that. I think everybody was expecting like, oh, he wants to be Slytherin because he's a big goth and he's a big like metalhead. So, but I
Mhm.
don't know. I always root for the underdog in films, so I always hate the bad guys. I'm very
Have
like
you have you
with that.
finished that game? Have you finished that game?
Like I finished that to the very like tip top of where I could with it. It got to the point where I was starting to get annoyed with how many collectibles there was on it. But again,
Yeah.
we'll go back to like, the whole platinum thing. I wanted to platinum that game so bad that I literally
Hmm.
sat there for like on numerous hours just trying to do the collectibles to the point where I was just like, I really want to like play something else now, but I'm so close to getting the platinum. It's like it's, but I can't wait for the second one to come out now because apparently that is in the works.
No, there's gonna be another one.
Yep.
Oh, great. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so like I have seen the game, I've seen the gameplay. It looks phenomenal, looks great. I don't know if it would make me want to play it. But I've from what I've seen of the game, it looks interesting. It was funny because I'm gonna spoil a little bit. So if nobody's played Hogwarts Legacy, here's your spoiler warner. I remember when Heartless first started playing it, and I'm sitting in the bedroom, and she's like, "I gotta go to the restroom," and she just left it playing. And she goes to the restroom, and she calls me while she's in the restroom. And I'm sitting there. She's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, you're in this carriage, and this dragon shows up and just messes everything up, or whatever. And you're falling through space." And she thinks I'm making this up because I'm not really a fan of Harry Potter. So she thinks I'm just. She's like, "No, it didn't. No, it didn't." I said, "I can't believe you don't believe me." And she came back and she watched it, and she's like, "Wow." She's like, "That got intense real fast." I said, "I know." Like so that right there alone made me interested in possibly playing the game, but I can't see myself. I would probably play straight through it for the story and then be done. Like I don't think I could do collectibles. Um let's see, what is the best advice you've ever received from someone?
Ooh, what's the best advice?
Hmm.
It's probably the advice I give out now. Be yourself. Really, like
Yeah.
that's the best advice I've ever got. Like,
Hmm.
be yourself with stuff and don't try and ride on somebody else's coattails. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, everybody appreciates you for you and being more genuine
Hmm.
about being you. And yeah, I think if
Yeah.
you are you, then more people respect you and accept you for that. So
um Next thing here, she asks, is what tattoo of yours is your favorite and why?
my current favorite is my newest one, which is obviously you probably not see it too well. I'll have to stand up for it, but
Hmm.
it's
Oh, that's
the
dope.
new one.
Yeah.
So like I got Malachi's name tattooed on my arm, but we're reiterating that as well. So I'm getting some D&D stuff worked around it and stuff like that as well. But I'd probably say before that it's my forearms and stuff because it's a whole
Yeah.
horror sleeve. So I've got like everything in there like I'll have to get some actual photos up on the Discord so I can show you. I've got like Rob Zombie in there. That's probably my favorite piece out of everything. Is like getting the Rob Zombie piece in. So
Yeah, that's good.
it's awesome. So
What is your all-time favorite band or artist?
I pretty much just answered that one straight away. I'd probably say it's obviously either Rob Zombie or Wednesday 13 on the Murder Dolls. That's always been like one of my favorite bands in the world. Apart from that, Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
That was one of
What
the
is your
first bands Black Sabbath, and then went from there.
what is your favorite guilty pleasure? And this is
My
her
favorite,
final question.
um, I wouldn't consider it. I don't know, Pokemon cards. Getting back into
Pokemon
Pokemon.
cards?
Yeah. I think that's like my guilty pleasure at the moment. So I've really started to get back into Pokemon, and I don't know why.
Man, I remember back in the day when Pokemon first came out. Like I know obviously, oh, great, old story. And I look at the Pokemon cards from way back when, and then I see them now, and they have changed so much that I don't even know if the game's played the same way anymore. Um, Other than that, like, I never really was a Pokemon card collector. I was a Dragon Ball Z card collector. I have tons of them. Um, but Pokemon, that's just one thing that I didn't ever get into was collecting the cards. Do you have a favorite card?
Uh, uh, I don't know. I've always been kind of like a Mewtwo guy. I always like that card,
Mhm.
and especially like some of the new artwork that's coming out for them. Some of the like the full art cards are really, really good for them. I think I'm more into the art than the actual playing of it. I just like collecting the
Yeah,
cards. So I've got them. I am starting to get into the trading card game now, though. Actually playing it like that kind of like way around it. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just one
I
of
think
those. I think. Yeah.
I think my only experience with actually playing the game is the little Game Boy game they came out with a while back or whatever. That
Yeah.
I got into. I got pretty addicted to that. But I never collected them myself. But yeah, no. The art is amazing, especially when you start getting to now with like the foils, and they've got like what mega evolutions now, if I remember correctly. Like they're really cool on how they do that. So that was the last question from Heartless. Appreciate you submitting those. And thank you so much.
I love you,
The,
Atlas.
the last questions. We have three last questions here. Someone you know pretty well. It's only Reaper. He asked, "Who is your favorite coworker?"
So I was totally going to veto these questions. I was totally going to do it. Ryan, you know it's you, dude. You know it's you. Like I enjoy working with this guy every time. Like he just puts in so much effort when he's there. You know what I mean? It's like he's 100% when he's there, and he's a pleasure to work with. So there you go. And yes, I know probably the next question is why is it Reaper? That's exactly
Yeah.
why,
Why
right?
is it Reaper? Why is he your favorite coworker?
That's exactly why he puts in 110%. He's always there if I do need to talk to him about anything, whether it be like work stuff, whether it be like
Mhm.
personal stuff and that as well. And it's just like I have made a good friendship with him in work now as well. So it's
Mhm.
always good to be able to kind of make that kind of not just a colleague, it's somebody like you can rely on like in your personal life as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the answers you were looking for, Ryan. And I know it was. That's
Um.
been. You know.
Before we get into his last question, I want to ask a question. So, um, I don't know him very well. I've got to talk to him a little bit through Discord chat, and every conversation's been great. Um, what did he say when you first? Because I'm guessing you were the one who first showed him about TWS. Like you're like, hey, this is what my buddy does. How did that conversation go down? Because he looks like he's all about it now. He's interested. At first but so I'm just kind of curious on how that conversation went. Can you elaborate on
So
that?
yeah, so I think we connected on like an aspect of like we like wrestling anyway, or like
Mhm,
not me, not so much now. I kind of like keep me into the ground with certain things on it. I used to
mhm,
watch the shows religiously. I used to watch the
mhm,
paper shows like
mhm,
religiously all the time. But now, I don't know the story aspects of certain things just got really like kind of
mhm.
similar, too similar to me, and it's just like how many times can you bring like Brock Lesnar back and like make him champion? It's just like, I'm bored of it now. Like, do you know what I mean? Or how
Mhm.
many times can Roman Reigns be champion before I get bored of it? Like, I just really
Mhm.
fell off that type of thing. But we really connected on like the older stuff and like the Attitude Era
Mhm.
and way before that, and like where we connected on that, and then I started getting into. Well, obviously, I'm part of Mitch's like TWS and stuff like that. We're
Mhm.
doing on there, and he asked us like, "How you like what is it?" And I was
Mhm.
basically like, "I goes, it's their type of show. So you role play in the Discord, you
Mhm.
role playing
Mhm.
stuff and that. You tell them
Mhm.
backstory about your character, and then they put you
Mhm.
in the show." Obviously your matches in the show and stuff like that, or you might have a promo,
Mhm.
and they do all of the commentating, announcing behind it and stuff like that. And I said it's
Mhm.
actually taken off really, really well. I goes, it's cool that you can take that aspect of just putting it in written role play and put it onto screen and make it like
Mhm.
make more of it. You know what I mean? Because it really like balance each other out really, really well. And I think
Mhm.
you went, oh, I kind of want a piece of that. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I used to be a big fan of wrestling way back when, back in the Attitude Era, even before that, the Attitude Era, back in the old days. Um, but I went to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, and then after I went to that, I was kind of like downfall. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't really, I've been to the it show. Like, do I need to go to anything else? Do I need to see anything else, when you see it live? And I'm like, all right, well, what's better than this? And I agree with you. The recent years have been up and down, and it's kind of hard to follow, and I see clips now and then. But I got to give a big shout out to the production crew and who we got a hold of here to do our own fantasy wrestling. And I really enjoy what we do a lot more than what they do on TV now. Like, I don't know what it is. The commentary is the best commentary ever.
possibly
There's some
it's
crazy funny stuff that just has people dying. And it's the best product on any platform, and there's nobody in the world that does what we do when it comes to fantasy wrestling. I mean, there's a lot of e-feds out there where they do the just chatting and they put it up and they have the matches, but there's nobody that does what we do. And it's a great originality, so
you know,
um
fantastic. It's a fantastic content, honestly. Like once you started doing it, I was like, "This is interesting." I've been waiting for something like this for a while, and then when it started to really take off, I was like, "I'm glad you're keeping it consistent as well." Like on like when they do like Monday Night Raw or like Friday
yep.
Night SmackDown, you're doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And I like that consistency that you've got, like to a real type of like aspect of it. Like that's what I think. That's what's making it really, really push as well. Do you know what I mean? Like that's why people
Hmm.
are really enjoying it as well. I think because you have that like that episode every Monday to come back to, and then you're putting the pay-per-views in as well, and that's an
Hmm.
extra aspect to it. And it's yeah, it can just go through the roof with this now. Like so,
Absolutely. I know I've been stalling here on Reaper's last question, but I have another question here. How, Necro, do you keep yourself in peak physical performance to perform in TWS on Macho Monday, almost every single Monday on the pay-per-views, and still be a dad offhand? How do you do it, man? Tell me.
I'm just overall epic. I'm just that's it. I'm
Just
just a physical prime of my life. Like I wake up and that's it. I'm just in that shape already. So
just
nice to be.
naturally gifted.
I'm just naturally gifted. Yep.
um Last question here by It's Only Reaper. He says, "What's it like working in a game shop?"
Has its ups and downs. Like most of the time, I'd say it's fantastic, kind of great kind of place to work because customers come in. Customers can be fantastic. It's great working with people that you can call colleagues as well as friends. Like I said, but like yeah, like it's got its downs as well. Like it's overwhelming sometimes. It can get on your nerves sometimes. Like do you know what I mean? I think every job can do that though. But I mean, all I can say, if you ever want to work in a game shop, make sure you want to work in a game shop. Don't just think that it's going to be like one of these where you go and it's like, oh, you're surrounded by games. I'm a gamer. I'm really going to enjoy
Mhm.
this. It's really not that. I'd say probably 20% of what you do in a game shop is nothing to do with gaming. Like, yes, you're surrounded by games, you're surrounded by stuff like that, but it's like there's so much more going on and actually doing it there. It's much more about sales and targets and making sure you're doing this and making sure you're doing that. And but like I said, if you do enjoy it and you can talk to people and help people on stuff that they don't know things about, because we sell a lot of tech, phones, tablets,
Mhm.
game consoles, games themselves, films. Like it's good that I'm into films and music and that as well, because people come in and like ask certain things about films. So it's always great chatting to people about stuff and being able to get them the right type of things, if you know what I mean.
Do you have any ability to like maybe in a couple days, like can you take pictures of your shop and post them in Discord just so we can kind of get an idea what it looks like? And is that a
Yeah, I think they're like readily available like on Google, but I can definitely post them in the Discord.
okay?
That's no problem because I think they're like they're free reign anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see some pictures of those just to kind of curious on the difference between of like what I see here in the States per what yours is over there in the UK.
and if the
So
windows look really nice, that's all me and Reaper right now. So that's me and him making those windows look fantastic. Good shout out for you there, Ryan. I ain't gonna lie.
um that is pretty much everything there. Thank you, Reaper, as far as submitting those questions, dude. Every little bit helps, and it definitely makes it a lot more enjoyable here when we have the talk show. So we appreciate it. The only thing left I have for you, Necro, is uh basically what's the future looking like for Necro? What do we have going on? What do you have planned? I mean, obviously what you can unveil, you don't have to keep the secrets, but what
Uh,
what
every,
what what can
everything
we
I've already,
expect?
everything I've already kind of pushed out and put ideas out there anyway. So like I said, I am wanting to get back very very soon. It's probably it's going to be this week to be honest, because I've got a whole bunch of time off over the next couple of days. So I am going to be making a comeback. Either it may be tonight, it may be tomorrow. I'm hoping it's going to be tonight. If it is, I'm wanting to get back to obviously gaming because I wanted to do some playthroughs, some games. I want to do some multiplayer and stuff, like just my general gaming content. But I have had the ideas of doing podcasts as well. So what I want to do is I want to get different guests on. I want to talk to people. I want to talk about films. I want to talk about TV. I want to talk about music. I want to talk about everything going on, about just anything really. Like every episode's going to be different. We'll talk about all sorts, but I want to do D&D episodes as well because we do quite a lot of D&D. So what I want to do is I want to do episodes around that. I'm going to try and make them readily available on both any streaming sites that I'm going to be on. So whether it be Twitch or Kick or anything like that, I want those VODs out. But I'm also going to be putting them up on Spotify and that as well. So they're going to be accessible on there and possibly on YouTube if I can do something around that. I'm wanting to do maybe some pack openings and stuff because, like I said, I'm doing the whole like magic stuff.
Mhm.
I want to do some more stuff like that, and I think I've got a little bit of music stuff I'm wanting to do as well, some miniature paintings, and yeah, I've got a whole bunch lined up to be honest. So I am, and I'm going to push this out there as well because I've been meaning to do it for the longest time. I am bringing the quizzes back. I will bring the quizzes
Nice.
back. And I'm going to be doing the prizes with them as well. So if anybody likes a pub quiz or general knowledge type of quizzes and stuff, I'm going to be doing those big time again. So I know a lot of people want them back, and I haven't been doing them for the longest time. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell, and that's what I'm coming back with. So
That's awesome. And basically you're on all platforms. You're still working out the kick, but you're on Twitch. You have YouTube too as well.
yeah,
Um TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. So you
Facebook,
guys can
all of them.
you guys can check out Necro anywhere there as far as that. Also, the last and final thing is if you have anything you could say to anybody in the Taco Society, now would be the time to give that advice, and just kind of plug yourself. So before we go see someone else here, why don't you go ahead and just say some advice, some influencing words to anybody that's in the tacos.
honestly, guys, be yourselves. Keep being amazing like you are. You're all fantastic. Please come and check me out. Come and say hello. Come and talk to me and that, because like honestly, it makes my life so much better online as well. And I love talking to you all as well. So yeah, that's all I can say basically. Yeah, come and check me out when I'm next live and stuff like that. Please keep following the Taco Society and stuff like that. Get who you can into the Taco Society because it's such an inclusive place. And yeah, just keep being awesome and party on
Necro,
games.
Necro, I appreciate you coming in to the show,
Thank
man.
you.
I hope you had just as much fun as I did.
Been a
Thank you
blast.
so much. I'm excited to see what's to come. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to Let's Talk About It. We will be back next month with another guest. We will see you guys all later. Have a good night.